Aloha, I'm Paul Norman, and I'm the Executive Director of Neighborhood Place of Puna. And today I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. If you're, you have children or animals, be careful. They can be afraid of fireworks and can be harmed by fireworks. So just be careful, celebrate safe. And because it is, because I'm speaking on behalf of Neighborhood Place of Puna, of course, I want to talk a little bit about Independence Day. And, it is, definitely an occasion to celebrate, the formation of new ideas and formation of a country that has, a mixed past like every country. But the thing I think I really want to talk about is this idea of independence. And it seems to be kind of a point of pride in the United States, like just being independent. But we have to remember that, when we talk about independence, it's independence from something. So what the Americans would call the Revolutionary War, what the Brits would have called the rebellion, was about the colonists at that time becoming independent from a lot of overreach and control by the British government. Britain was all the way across the Atlantic. They were the colonies were originally set up, had a lot of autonomy, and then over time, the British government began to try and be a little bit more heavy-handed in their rules. And the colonists generally, not everyone, and primarily, if we're honest, primarily the male colonists rebelled against this idea. And so, for women, for people of color, for slaves, for indigenous people, whether they were being oppressed by the colonists, Americans, the Brits, didn't really matter very much. And that's important to remember, is that the ideas that form this country are the ideas of the Enlightenment from the 18th century, right? So the birth of the country is the beginning place. It's not the ending place. And our ideas evolve and change. Our understanding of what it means to be a country evolve and change. The thing that we need to remember is that, yes, we all want to have some level of autonomy. We all want to have control over our lives and control of the where our lives go. And here's the important thing, is that we can't do that without other people. We can't do that without, all the things around us that allow us to live a full life. So if it didn't rain, wouldn't have water, right? So we can't be independent from rain. There wasn't trees producing oxygen. We couldn't breathe. We're not independent from that, right? And we need our friends and supports and our community to support us. So the idea that, and a man, which it usually is, a man alone against the world, totally bogus, right? We all are intertwined as a community. The unfortunate thing right now is that as our nation has grown and become more powerful and more rich, is that it's actually begun to resemble some of the ideas we had about what Britain was like when what the British Empire was like when we wanted our independence. So our society is becoming top heavy. In other words, a lot of wealth, a lot of power concentrated at the top, and a lot of powerless, impoverished people in a tremendous amount of impoverished people or people barely making it in society, with a few powerful and wealthy folks at the top. And what this means for like the people we serve is it's very hard for families to have financial independence. It's very hard for them to find the work and take on the work to be able to be financially successful and independent. It's very hard for them to afford housing, to afford medicine, to afford schooling expenses, to afford transportation, cars, to afford to be able to take a vacation. You know, so many things that are just really becoming out of reach for most people, right? And as these things get out of reach, people lose their autonomy, they lose their independence, they lose their ability, they lose this gift that is kind of enshrined in the idealism around the founding of this country of independence, right? And so, you know, as we think about, as we celebrate the 4th of July, you know, it's just important to remember that, first of all, independence, the idea of independence is independence from something. And, you know, when we're talking about it here, as far as this country, is independence from rule by others, by another country specifically. And also, you know, I'm trying to talk a little bit about independence and autonomy of individuals and families to have the means and wherewithal to lead a full life, to have the opportunity, right? The opportunity to pursue a full life. And the other thing to remember is that no one is truly independent. We're all related. We all depend upon one another, and the impacts, the actions we have, the political decisions we make, the way we set up our laws, the way we build our society impacts everybody and is interwoven. You know, so the work that I do, that Neighborhood Place of Puna does, is around families and children, because, you know, I feel like you know, if we work hard enough to build a supportive world for families, those children will grow up and continue to build a better world, a world that creates more opportunity for more people, creates more freedom for more people, creates a world in which more people can find meaning and value and contribute positively to the world, right? If we don't focus on the children, if we don't support the children, if we don't pour our resources and abundance into the future, what happens, right? We stagnate. We start to go backwards. We lose opportunity because we're not investing in the future. So I hope on this 4th of July, you'll have a wonderful celebration with your families, friends. I hope you'll be safe, but also think about our future and how do we want to build, how do we want to grow our country going forward? What kind of community and country do we want to build? And do we want to build one in which more people, more children, more families have an opportunity to be successful, find meaningful work, and be financially independent in a good way, in that they don't have to spend every day thinking about how are they going to pay for the basics, right? Financial security is what we're talking about. So have a wonderful 4th of July. Aloha, and be safe.